Washington, D.C., June 30th. As you all know, South Korea was invaded 5 days ago by North Korea. 3 days ago, the President authorized Douglas MacArthur, Commanding General of American Far East Forces in Tokyo, to provide the Republic of Korea troops with American naval and air power. And today, MacArthur reported that the communist forces are so powerful that only the introduction of American ground forces can stop them. It would seem that war will be imminent. Korea, September 15th. The United Nations Command has announced that the UN forces launched a major amphibious assault at Incheon this morning, and operations are still being conducted. According to preliminary reports, the invasion was led by the United States 1st Marine Division and the Army's 7th Infantry Division. The operation is being supported by Allied naval armada of more than 200 ships and dozens of planes. General Douglas MacArthur, commander of the UN forces, chief architect of the daring end of the operation, and is directing the invasion from the 7th Fleet flagship, the Mount McKinley. The huge waterborne invasion has been expected for some time. The location comes as a surprise to many veteran military analysts. Because of its low tides and many mudflats, the harbor of Incheon is considered by amphibious warfare experts to be a nightmare. Others say that is precisely why MacArthur chose Incheon. September 26th. General Douglas MacArthur announced today that the United Nations forces had recaptured Seoul. Spearheaded by elements of the United States 1st Marine Division and the Army's 7th Infantry Division, the UN troops launched the attack on the capital 4 days ago. Korea, December 5th. The massive Chinese military intervention in North Korea 10 days ago has broken the back of the advance by United Nations forces towards the Yalu River. Both the American and South Korean armies have suffered extremely heavy casualties and are engaged in a rapid but organized retreat. All American forces are, in the end, in retreat. The Chinese communists have been threatening to intervene in the war ever since September, when General Douglas MacArthur announced that he planned to carry the war to the Yalu River. The Chinese made good their warning on November 26th, when an estimated 550,000 Chinese soldiers carried out a series of frontal attacks on American positions. Last month, General MacArthur seemed on the verge of a brilliant military victory. With a degree of ironic understatement, he has acknowledged that we face an entirely new war. Korea, March 15th. American military authorities announced today that Seoul has been recaptured from Chinese and North Korean troops. The battle for Seoul began last week when General Matthew B. Ridgway, 8th Army Commander, launched Operation Ripper. His forces included 9 divisions, 6 American and 3 South Korean. Army officials... that's crap. The offensive opened with a massive American artillery barrage and an infantry assault by the 25th Division against enemy positions on the Han River, 20 miles east of Seoul. After 3 days of bitter fighting, the Chinese began to withdraw. American military commanders report that their advance to Seoul has been severely hampered by torrential spring rains and mudslides from hills surrounding the capital city. On most days, the Americans could advance only a mile or so. When they finally arrived in Seoul today, virtually all the Chinese and North Korean soldiers had been pulled out. In D.C., April 19th. In an emotional address before both houses of Congress that was broadcast nationally on radio and television, General of the Army Douglas MacArthur gave his official farewell today to the American people. Fired last week by President Truman, the old warrior recounted his 52 years of military service in both war and peace. Speaking eloquently and with intense sentiment, he closed his historical speech with a quote from a traditional British barrack room ballad. "Old soldiers never die," he said, "they just fade away." Panmunjom, Korea, November 27th. After 5 months of haggling, United Nations and North Korean negotiators have finally taken the first concrete step that will, they hope, lead to the end of the war. After today's meeting, both sides announced that they will observe a truce along the entire battle line that stretches across the width of the Korean peninsula.